My name is Brent Stabiner with Logan Consulting. This video today, I will be walking through the entire purchase order process, starting with a purchase quote and going all the way to invoice. During that time, I will demonstrate the various warehouse setups that can be done to support the purchasing process. So for this video, I'm going to start with a purchase quote. There is no requirement to start with a purchase quote. You can start with a quote, an order, or an invoice. But I will start with a quote to walk through the entire process from start to finish. So I will create a new purchase quote here. And we're going to pick our vendor, and our vendor will, all the vendor information will come from that vendor setup, their address information, payment terms, where to ship to, things like that. For this example, I'm going to pick a lot controlled item that I have set up. And in this video, we are going to walk through no warehousing, basic warehousing, and advanced warehousing. So I'm going to start with none. And we're going to do a quantity of 100 and a unit cost of 500. So this is our purchase quote. Once it's finalized, you could go ahead and send that out to the vendor to confirm. I have an approval process set up, so I'm going to send the approval request. And since I am the approver, it would automatically approve. But once that purchase quote is approved and it's been confirmed by the vendor, we can hit process here and make that an order. So yes, I'm going to convert the quote to an order. And now it's telling me I have a new order, and I'm going to open that new order, which should have all the same information from the quote. And so here is our new purchase order, same information. You can even see here the quote number is attached to it. And so here I'm going to show the three different warehousing setups that can be done. So first, if we had warehousing turned off, this works for smaller organizations that don't really have a warehouse staff to manage. Maybe it's just smaller items or have an office or maybe even just a third-party warehouse. The warehouse none is selected. Everything, the receipt and the invoice is managed right here directly in the purchase order. So all you would have to do is scroll over to the right here and confirm that your quantity to receive is accurate, which for me defaulted to the full total, but you could partially receive if you update that. Then you would just go to posting and then post. And here you could receive it right away. You could even receive an invoice at the same time, but that would be all you need to do if warehousing is turned off. Now I'm going to switch my location here to basic warehousing. Think of basic warehousing as a one-step warehouse transaction. So instead of managing everything in the purchase order, if you did have a warehouse with its own staff, typically organizations like to keep that warehouse staff out of the purchase order. So if someone was managing those warehouse receipts or just the warehouse in general, that person could come into the purchase order and go ahead and create an inventory put away right here. So I'm going to switch this to inventory put away. And I'm going to also print the put away document. As you can see, it filters my request to just the exact purchase order I'm on. And I'm going to hit OK. And then here is my put away list. I'm just going to send it to a PDF here. And it tells me that I got a put away activity created. So here's that put away document telling us, if there was a shelf that it went to, where it would go, and there's a place to fill in how many quantity that you handled. So now that we have our put away activity created, there is a place that houses all of our inventory putaways. If you're already on the purchase order, if you go to related and then warehouse, you can actually go to the inventory put away lines directly from the purchase order. Or you could just go to your search and search for inventory putaways. So this would be all of your putaways that have not been received yet. And so here's the one that I just did for the purchase order. And once you, and because I have a lot track number, I'm going to have to enter my lot number. You can require bins and enter a specific bin that you're putting this away in. So I'm just going to go random numbers there. And then when your put away document is created, your quantity to handle is how many that you're actually going to be putting away. And that defaults to 0 so that it gives someone the ability to fill in that number with the quantity that is counted. If it filled in automatically, then it might deter a warehouse worker from actually counting and making sure it matches. Once you've confirmed, let's say we're going to fully receive it, you can enter in 100 as your quantity to handle, or you can click this autofill quantity to handle. Now the 100 is filled in. Now that it's filled in, I can go to posting here and I can post my receipt right here. And if we go back to our purchase order, we can see that our quantity received is showing up here past tense, and I can click on the 100 right there, and it should take me to that purchase receipt line. And I can even hit show documents, and it shows me that purchase receipt that resulted from the put away. Now, let's go ahead and create the same order. So I'm going to go ahead and copy a new order here. We're going to copy that order. We're going to include the header. And now I have the same order. And now the only change I'm going to make here is I'm going to change warehouse basic to warehouse advanced. So if we have advanced warehousing turned on, that essentially means it is a two-step warehouse put away. What we're going to do is we're going to create a warehouse receipt document from that. We're going to post that warehouse receipt, and then that warehouse receipt creates a warehouse put away, which signals this to a warehouse employee to go ahead and actually put that item away or those items away. So this is a more complex setup. If you needed to get more granular, you had more separation of duties. So if you had one person managing your receipts, that coming into the dock maybe, while someone manages where those documents get put away, then the person that manages the receipt could come in here, and instead of choosing create inventory put away, they would hit create warehouse receipt. Now it tells me one warehouse receipt has been created, very similar to the inventory put away. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and post that. So you could assign this warehouse receipt to a specific person to go ahead and count it and make sure the quantity is accurate. Again, we're using a lot tracked item here. So I'm going to go to item tracking lines and actually enter in my lot number here. And then I'm going to say all of the 100 quantity goes to that lot. Obviously, if you split it between multiple lots, you can put multiple lines there. And now that I've entered my lot number, I'm going to go ahead and post the receipt. Click yes here to post that receipt. And now that the receipt has been posted, we will go ahead and create a warehouse put away. So if we go to our warehouse, to our posted warehouse receipts, sorry, wrong one here. Here we go to our posted warehouse receipts. There's an option to create a put away. So once we have received in that those items to our dock, we need to put it away to its location. So now it tells us put away activity has been created. So if we go to our warehouse putaways, we see our put away document here. If we had a user ID, we could assign that to a specific person that puts away the items. But once we have our put away document created, once it's put away, we just click register to put away. Click yes. And now that item is actually put away in the location that we specified. So those are the different ways of handling receipts with the different levels of warehousing. Now that we have received our purchase orders, we are ready to invoice them. Just like with lots of things in Business Central, there's more than one way to do that. We could come right into the purchase order itself, and we could enter in a vendor invoice number and go ahead and post the invoice here. That is one way to do it. If your vendor, maybe they invoice you weekly, monthly, and they put all of their purchase orders onto one invoice, that is not a problem. You could create a new purchase invoice from scratch here. Just enter in that same vendor number. And then we can hit down in the lines, we can go to line functions, get receipt lines, and we can select the receipts that we are invoicing. So I'm going to just select a couple right there, and it drops both of those into our purchase invoice document. It's two quantity, $500 each, and it totals it to $1,000. And again, all you have to do is enter in the vendor invoice number and post the invoice. So that is a high-level overview of the purchase order process, starting from quote and going all the way to invoice.